It's 5 o'clock. Take time to be safe. Don't text and drive. A reminder from HendrickCars.com.
Live now at 5 o'clock on Spectrum News. Good evening, I'm Tim Spears. Our top story we're following this evening, a major development and a bit of bad news for opponents of the I-77 toll lane contract. Plus, thousands of people stranded at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. But things are beginning to look a little better. Then several reports of drink tampering at the epicenter. We're hearing more from police. Lots to get to this evening, but first, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Crum is standing by, and it's been a great week so far. How's Father Day looking?
Well, it's looking hot, so get ready. Usually we wait for the dog days of summer to hit somewhere late July through the month of August, but we're about to get a real taste of it beginning Sunday through much of the week next week. Here this evening, if you have plans, enjoy, get out there and have at it. Not much happening, a couple showers and storms out of our area, and it's unlikely we'll see anything develop in the evening hours. 91 was the official high today, 68 degrees the low. Current temperatures are in the mid to lower 90s, and the heat index, well, hasn't been too much of a problem yesterday. It was in the mid to upper 90s. We got to look at futurecasts tomorrow afternoon. We build in a little more mugginess, we build in a little more heat, but we really feel the heat in a big way as we get into Sunday. Overnight temperatures tonight in the upper 60s for Charlotte. We'll find highs close to 91 in the metro. For the high country, close to 80.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And as you head home to get your weekend started, Jim Huggins has the latest on what areas you might want to avoid. Jim, what do you know?
Well, Tim, right now we're dealing with it just popped up on us. It's going to be right here in Uptown on northbound North Caldwell Street. A very serious injury crash blocking the right and center lanes as you try to come back and run through the interchange with 7th Street. Looking at an accident South Tryon Street at Steel Creek Road. We also have a crash over on Monroe Road outbound as you come up onto North Sharon Avenue. Right lane is blocked here. Taking a live look at the commute through Uptown Charlotte. Well, yep, it's crowded. We're getting a big crowd right around West Moorhead Street, both northbound approaching us and southbound moving away from us. The northbound side still very heavy going up through West Trade Street and back around through the Brookshire Freeway. And southbound, a lot of delays here trying to come down through the John Belk Freeway West Boulevard area. With your traffic, I'm Jim Huggins.
Your traffic from the Keffer Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Traffic Center.
A little more than an hour ago, we learned of a major development at the General Assembly. The North Carolina legislature took all money off the table to potentially cancel or change the toll project on I-77. The money would have come from surpluses in the state's highway fund and highway trust fund, and it would have been used to cover costs to modify the contract or cancel the project. This removal means there will be no money set aside for this project during this year's session. However, there is language approved in the state budget to allow the legislature to find the funding should it be needed. We spoke to Governor Roy Cooper about the proposed funding this morning when he was in Charlotte. He said he did not want the legislature to insert itself into the process. Instead, for the Secretary of Transportation to have flexibility with how the money is spent.
You're drawing amendments and not paying a whole lot of attention to what the practical effects are. There should be money that is available. You don't want to necessarily confine it all to Mecklenburg County because you might end up hurting some projects here that are very much needed.
The governor has said he should be able to announce a decision on what he plans to do about the I-77 project by the end of the summer. Lots going on this week at the GA. Another big topic of discussion, an early voting bill. State lawmakers debated a new proposal that would change the voting period to 17 days. Supporters say it would give voters more options. Opponents believe the changes could negatively affect some voters.
We have expanded the days of early voting. We have expanded the hours of early voting. We have expanded the locations of early voting. If you support early voting, then you have to support this bill.
I would also caution this body to be reminded of what the Fourth Circuit Court recently said, that African American voters were targeted with surgical precision. Those two words are very frightening and should be cautionary to all of us.
When the House signed off on the early voting changes, the vote was not enough to override a veto should that happen.
There's people sleeping all up against the walls behind potted plants, and it's just been crazy.
A less congested Charlotte Douglas Airport tonight, but residual effects of hundreds of canceled flights still being felt by thousands of passengers. The cancellations were caused by some sort of technical issue with PSA Airlines, which is a regional carrier for American Airlines. Spectrum News reporter Alex Peterson is live with the latest. Alex.
Tim, good evening. As you said, less congested and less busy here at Charlotte Douglas today. I was here last night, and let me tell you, baggage claim overflowing with frustrated, angry, and confused passengers trying to figure out what to do and where to go. But American Airlines says that those rescheduled flights started again today around noon. New tonight, though, take a look at this. American Airlines says that out of 275 flights canceled system-wide for PSA yesterday, 125 were here in Charlotte. And then today, out of 400 flights canceled system-wide, 300 were here at Charlotte Douglas. Here's what it looked like in baggage claim this afternoon. The crowds have dwindled, but there are a lot of bags still unclaimed. We heard stories of people being rescheduled for flights late tonight and even on tomorrow. Instead, many chose to rebook with other carriers. One woman traveling from Utah to Virginia was stuck here for 9 hours until her bags were found. Her son-in-law is now driving from Virginia to come pick her up.
He has duty tomorrow, and so my daughter has to get home to the kids. So he's driving almost 6 hours to come get us and bring us home. And it's better than waiting until our flight 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, a lot of folks did actually have to wait until their flights were rebooked. She was one of the lucky ones. We do know that this was a technical issue, but we don't know exactly what caused that. We've reached out to the airlines and have not yet heard back. Reporting live at Charlotte Douglas International Airport, I'm Alex Peterson. Tim, back to you.
All right, thanks, Alex. And we also caught up with travelers trying to get rental cars. Many were turned away because there were just none left.
Our time is being wasted in the airport instead of with our friends. So, and I went to try to rent a rental car, no rental cars.
And we will continue to keep monitoring things at the airport. And again, before you leave, be sure to check online to confirm your flight is leaving as scheduled. Weeks after, Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are encouraging anyone going out to bars and nightclubs uptown that it's safe, despite recent reports of possible spiked drinks at the epicenter. Now, at the same time, officers say if you see someone who appears incapacitated, don't be afraid to say something. Spectrum News reporter Jonathan Lowe is live at the CMPD Law Enforcement Center with how the department is handling concerns about drug drinks. Jonathan.
Well, Tim, CMPD says at this point they have absolutely no proof whatsoever that any woman or person for that matter has ever been drugged at the epicenter. Toxicology tests just have not come back positive. Just yesterday, we told you about a 23-year-old woman who says she went to the epicenter back on June 8th, and that after a man her and her friends did not know bought them several drinks, she became ill and then blacked out. We are told that bar staff immediately informed off-duty CMPD officers working the epicenter.
He ended up giving a consent to search of himself, so they were able to search him to see if he had any foreign substances that would be illegal that he may have used to tamper with a drink, which he had none.
Now, that woman was taken to the hospital where she told officers she had not been injured or sexually assaulted. This is the second report in about as many weeks where CMPD is speaking on concerns of drug drinks at the epicenter. Initially, a woman named Leah McGurk publicly criticized CMPD and the Rooftop 210 bar for her treatment after she said she felt her drink had been spiked back in May. CMPD says they train bar management and staff on spotting people who may be incapacitated so that off-duty CMPD officers who patrol in and around the epicenter can intercept them and make sure that those people are okay. CMPD would not say if any of those toxicology tests that they are waiting on have come back yet, saying that that is crucial to their investigation.
We don't see anything that links anything specific that would make us feel that it's a specific trend targeting there specifically. But what I do feel is it's awareness. If you see someone do something to somebody's tampering with their food or drink, I challenge anybody to immediately, if they're able to, challenge that person or immediately let management or us know.
And I spoke with the chief risk officer who represents many of the bars and restaurants at the epicenter. He says they are now in the process of purchasing lids for any patrons that wants one for their drink. In Uptown Charlotte, Jonathan Lowe, Tim, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. And if you are going to Epicenter and staying safe, right now, family and friends, technical glitch. Right now, family and friends are saying goodbye to a 17-year-old volunteer firefighter. The visitation for Dakota Snavely began moments ago. Tomorrow, he will be laid to rest. Snavely died when a tractor trailer hit his car while he was responding to water rescue calls. The driver of the tractor trailer now faces charges for misdemeanor death by motor vehicle. The funeral will begin at 11 o'clock Saturday morning at Anderson Grove Baptist Church. There's a couple of events we want to tell you about happening tonight in and around Uptown Charlotte, and none of them will cost you a penny. Over at First Ward Park for the second summer, you can attend a free concert. The band starts in about 2 hours, so you still have time if you want to get to dinner and head over. And Juneteenth Festival continues. In less than an hour, the Drum Circle begins. It's a celebration of ethnicities all over the world. Again, that starts at 6 and lasts for about 4 hours in Plaza Midwood. And before we head back to weather, we want to leave you with a little good news. A Charlotte man got a chance to thank an Emerald Isle Coast Guard crew who saved his life nearly a month ago. Back on May 18th, Charlie Bowers was out for a charity fishing trip with a friend when rough seas caused his boat to capsize near Bogue Inlet. Both men were able to swim out from under the boat, but that was just the beginning. Bowers didn't have on a life vest, so he grabbed onto the hardtop canopy of the overturned boat, holding onto it for 12 hours until Coast Guard came to his rescue.
It was a survival thing, and it was, you know, keep your mind straight, keep focused on what you're going to do and where you're headed. So I kind of had a plan in my own mind to follow and didn't let it go.
Brower says his friend is doing well. All right, and time for another check of your weather on the ones. It's 5:12. Just missed it, Jeff. What's going on?
Well, it's hot outside, and the heat will be with us as the rest of the weekend unfolds. For the folks who may be headed uptown or to various events out there this evening, no reason not to go. We have no showers, no storms on the radar returns at this hour, and I really don't expect we're going to see any good opportunity here this evening. 91 the high today, a few degrees cooler than that 93 yesterday, but slightly less humid out there, so it hasn't been oppressively muggy. We have many temperatures in the area, mid to upper 80s to lower 90s presently. Overnight tonight, quiet conditions. Saturday, another day of lower 90s, some increasing mugginess. We'll probably pick up a couple of showers and storms in the afternoon hours, but we're not really talking blanket coverage out there. And then as we get into Sunday, mid-90s for Father's Day, and that just starts a good stretch of days where we'll be in the mid-90s, and the heat index is going to be fairly tough as well. The extended forecast, you can see 93 there. Sunday, 96 on Monday, and in the high country, it'll be warm as well. That's a look at the 3-day forecast. Your 7-day outlook is coming up. Let's get a feel for what's going on with the Friday afternoon traffic. Here's Jim Huggins.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. We are running into a couple of issues around town. We've got a crash now up in the Cabarrus County area. This is going to be not too far from Liberty in Rockwell, Highway 52 at Liberty Road. Had some really heavy delays through here a moment ago when I first looked at this, but apparently it's an injury crash. Also, injuries involved in an accident North Caldwell Street at East 7th. The left, make that right and center lanes are blocked. Plus a crash still with us on Monroe Road outbound as you come back around through North Sheridan. And police still on the scene of a crash, South Tryon Street at Steel Creek Road. A live look at I-77, southbound moving away, northbound approaching. This is coming on down through the Remount Road exit, making your way through Clanton. Pretty busy through here. South of Clanton, we're also dealing with some pretty heavy delays. Southbound moving away, heading down towards South Tryon. With your traffic, I'm Jim Huggins.
Your traffic from the Keffer Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Traffic Center.
Coming up next.
Well, I think it caught us by surprise.
Big changes coming fast for the Carolina Panthers, including one out of the General Assembly. More reaction from Charlotte City leaders. Plus, at 25 after, find out why there's good news for your wallet if you're living in Concord. And tens of thousands of people expected in Uptown this weekend. At the end of the hour, we'll tell you what all these people are waiting for.